Welcome back to this week's edition of Hong Kong Direct. If you watched the show last week, you would have seen Graham Cunningham's horses to follow from the Northern Hemisphere that have recently arrived in Hong Kong. Adam, I know you closely follow racing in Australia, both the races and also the trials. You've given us 3 horses that we should be following that have recently arrived here in Hong Kong. Let's start off then at the top, Master Montaro. He's 2 from 2. He looks pretty promising, this horse.
Yes, Edward, he does look very promising. I think he could be one of the most exciting horses we've seen come over here for some time. There was, a huge talk about him on social media after his couple of wins, and, his first up win was brilliant. And then his second up win to prove himself to come over here, it was simply outstanding as well. And I know the man we're going to hear from in a minute, Michael Walker, was... He was really taken back by this horse, and I can't wait to see him over here. I reckon he's going to absolutely adore running over Sha Tin.
He's going to be trained here in Hong Kong by David Hayes. He's already joined David's stable. He's in the early stages of his preparation here. But as you say, Michael Walker passed on this video message about Master Montaro, who he rode to both of his wins in Australia.
Hey guys, just giving you a rundown on a horse that is now in Hong Kong that I'm definitely going to miss, Master Montaro. I thought both his 2 starts, 2 wins were exceptional. I think he's a very, very good horse in the making. He's a horse that hasn't even reached his full potential. He's only going to get better with age and obviously time. Now he's in Hong Kong. I'm definitely keen to follow his progress and his career, where it ends up. I definitely believe he's if he ends up sprinting, just sprinting, he's a run-on sprinter. He's a horse that will get back, but he's got a massive, powerful finish. He's got a big stride on him, and he's got an amazing attitude that I think is going to take him a long way if he sprints. Up to 1,600 metres, I think he'll also get. He's a type of horse also that you just don't ask too much of him early. Let him run his race where he wants to be. I tend to always rode him back in both his runs, and his turn of foot and his acceleration in the end of his races was phenomenal. I think he's a top class horse in the making, and I think he could be in Hong Kong a great sprinter / miler, whichever path they choose to take. But all in all, I think he's a very, very, very good horse, and good luck to Edmund Lee and all the connections, and David Hayes with the horse, because I think he's an exceptional horse. Cheers.
Thanks to Michael Walker for sending us in that video message. Big rap on the horse, as you could hear from him there. Let's move on, Adam. We spoke about Casper Founds at the top of the show. He's recruited in Rich Delight, who raced in Australia as Chenier. He won on debut as a 2-year-old, but then when you look at the form that he brings from races like the CS Hayes Stakes and also from the Australian Guineas against some top 3-year-olds, both from Australia and New Zealand, those form lines read really well.
Yes, definitely. A very, very exciting horse who was gelded straight away to come over here. I think that's a big tick as well, because he did look like a horse that wanted to be gelded. Another very, very exciting horse by that incredible sire, Medaglia d'Oro. And I still don't know what his pet distance is going to be, this horse, but he's a bit like a Master Montaro. If they can ride him quiet and sit behind a hot speed, he's going to launch late. He has to settle in first and tick all the right boxes, but I think he's a very, very exciting horse. And I'd probably say he would be one of the most exciting horses Godolphin sold for some time. He brings some really good form from Australia over here. His run behind Alligator Blood was very, very good. And then when he went to Sydney, I just don't think he was very happy there. So I'd happily put a pen through that, and I'm excited to see him step out when he does.
Yes, Casper's got him at his stable at Chung Fa at the moment. Back to David Hayes, as it turns out. Now, this horse hasn't raced yet, but interestingly, Give Way Please trialled as River Severn when he was in Australia. He was trained by David Hayes there, and David's brought him to be part of his Hong Kong stable. Yes,
this is my PPG to follow. I think he could be a little rocket. His trial on Tuesday morning was, wow. I looked at the guide beforehand, and I didn't really know much about the horse, but then I seen him step out, and I seen Keithy Ewing get off the horse and have a big smile on his face. He looks like a really ready-made galloper. He looks very quick, and obviously he's not going to be the biggest of odds when he steps out because his trial form suggests that he's going to be a very, very exciting horse, but he's just a horse to follow, and he's just another one of these exciting sprinters that if they all show up on game day, I could happily say I think Hong Kong could have one of the best sprinting fields in the world going on.
Okay, well, there's some exciting horses to keep an eye out on for the season here in Hong Kong, all that have arrived in recent months and have already joined their stables. Here's what's coming up in Hong Kong racing then in the more immediate future. We're racing at Sha Tin on Sunday, where we've got a 10-race card. It's a really good card as well too. There's something on offer in each of the 10 races. We'll be back at the City Track at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. And then the Group 3 Celebration Cup, which we touched on earlier in the show, takes place the following Sunday at Sha Tin over 1,400 metres. Beauty Generation versus Golden 60. What a race that's going to be. Adam, let's quickly touch on Sunday's meeting. A couple of the highlights. Winning Dreamer, he's 2 from 2, but a couple of queries with him stepping up to 1,200 metres and jumping from an awkward gate on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely right. He does have to step up to the plate now. It's the wide barrier is going to be a bit of a concern. He's a very, very exciting talent. He is unbeaten. Is he up to the top grade and is he showing that ability at the moment? I don't know. I don't think he's as good as the top grade sprinters, but he'll show us on Sunday how good he is.
And in the final event, it's our highest class race for the day. Excellent Proposal was one of the star horses for the opening day of the season, but it's tougher against a good field here in the last and also from a wide gate.
Yeah, very exciting horse. If I believe he's a group horse in the making. If he's going to be that good, then he has to step up to the plate on Sunday. This is a tough race and there is a lot more seasoned gallopers in the race, but I can see Joe just getting back on him, riding him a little bit pretty, get out late, and I think he'd be too good for them. He's a very, very exciting animal.
So Winning Dreamer will line up in race number 9. Excellent Proposal in a competitive final event on Sunday's card. There are a couple of the highlight horses to look out for, Adam, but overall, have you got a winner for us?
Yeah, Excellent Proposal does look the best on the card for me, but I'm going to go with the old boy in race number 7, Ultimate Glory. I thought his recent trial was outstanding. Zach back on board, down in grade, man for man. He's a great old horse, and I reckon his recent trial suggested he's ready to win first up.
Okay, yes, it does look like the right sort of race for him. Adam, thank you for your time here on Hong Kong Direct. That's it for the show this week. We're going to end it with some sad news, though. Earlier on in the week, we heard about the tragic passing of Pat Smullen, 9-time champion jockey in Ireland, who also rode in Hong Kong on a number of occasions. And his passing through the week has certainly been felt by several members of the racing industry here in Hong Kong.
He was very talented in the saddle, one of the better jockeys I've ever ridden against. But more so than that, he was, as I've indicated, he was just one of the most gentleman people of the sport. He was very competitive on the track, but off the track he was a unique individual. Going to be sadly missed by the racing industry because I think a lot of people will agree with me that he's irreplaceable. An individual like that, the way he had means about him with people and just the little time that I spent with him in Japan, in the jockey series, in the UK, here, he became a friend, and you wouldn't see Pat for a long while, and when you caught up, it was like you were with him yesterday. So my condolences go out to his family, and one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Very, very sad, tragic story of a demise of a 9 times champion jockey, and the whole racing world's in mourning, and I know the whole of the Hong Kong racing community shares his loss as well.
I don't think I've ever had anybody say a bad thing about Pat. He's just a genuinely nice fella. Racing aside, he was obviously a world-class jockey. He's proven that. I remember having a chat with him one day, and he was telling me he rode a horse for Dermot Wells early after he'd taken over from Mick Cannan as stable jockey, and he'd come in and the after race chat, and Dermot Wells was like, that's the best I have to deal with. He said, I'm wasting my time. So Pat went away and just completely turned it around and showed how professional and how good he was at what he did, that he went on to be 9-time champion, and had a long association with Dermot Well, and that just proves the man he was. And I think the whole racing world and friends and family are all very, very sad at this moment.